Rockland County sat at the crossroads of the American Revolution. The road to victory led straight through many of the routes and passages we still use today. Whoever controlled the routes controlled the fate of the revolutionary cause.
The reason it was so significant is it was a point between the northern states, Connecticut, Maine, Vermont, and the southern states. You had New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And it was central because you had the Ramapo Pass.
Rockland County's unique position with the Ramapo Mountains to the north and with the Hudson River to the east provided that area of great importance to Washington in terms of protecting the Hudson Highlands. His first attempt was to provide fortifications at the Ramapo Pass.
The pass was called Point of the Mountains by the Native Americans. The 14-mile gap between mountains had served as a trail to cross through the Hudson Highlands for centuries. It was the easiest way for troops and supplies to travel across this mountainous part of New York State and was of tremendous strategic importance.
The colonists had actually followed the Native American footpaths through Rockland County. And as a result, the highways and byways of Rockland County have grown up around or have been built or expanded upon Native American trails. The Ramapo Pass is really the best way to get into the Hudson Highlands. And because of the fact that it was a known trail, the colonists and certainly the Continental Army decided that it was extremely important to guard or protect that. Because if the British had gained control of that, they would have free access into the Hudson Highlands.
The Patriots in Rockland County had to defend against British crossing by land and by water. Frequent skirmishes and battles for control of the waterway were hallmarks of a war where the Hudson River was coveted by both sides of the fight.
Really, the only way to cross the Hudson River during the Revolutionary War was by a ferry. There were two ferries in Rockland County, one down at Seaton's Landing, and the other known as the King's Ferry, which was just north of the fortification at Stony Point.
King's Ferry and all its connecting roads were really significant. They were the major crossing of the Hudson River south of West Point. Even the British used King's Ferry a few times during the war. The French Army used it on their way to and from the siege of Yorktown, and the American Army used it pretty much every day from 1777 until the very end of the war in 1783.
With the British in New York City and the Patriots in the Hudson Highlands, control of the river was paramount. To defend the waterway, the American Army devised a plan to lay a long iron chain across the water at its narrowest point to make it impossible for British ships to travel upriver.
Once that line was cut, that would have been the end of the war right then and there. Supplies coming from the north to the south or the south to the north would have ended, and that would have essentially caused the end of the Revolutionary War.
It was a rather ingenious plan that the colonists had come up with to be able to string an iron chain across the Hudson River to keep British warships from traveling north.
The American defenses ultimately held, and pieces of the Great Chain are on display at West Point. Hikers and walkers explore native footpaths in the Hudson Highlands, and water lovers travel easily along the Hudson River.
Rockland County's historic sites aren't just landmarks that are on some classroom map. They are the highways and byways, the parks that we visit, the routes that we take on our daily morning commute.
Come walk in the footsteps of history as you explore all that Rockland County has to offer.